What's up, guys? I'm here in San Antonio exploring the coolest and quirkiest things in town, so let's go. Okay, so I just checked into the hotel and I am ready to start exploring San Antonio, and I think I found the best way to do it. Since I'm exploring the city's most surprising sights, I could not pass up the opportunity to travel by Sidecar. Sidecar, Sidecar, Sidecar! I found the tour online and immediately reached out to Liz Mancha, who created San Antonio Sidecars in 2019 with her husband Kevin, and we had a blast. Liz has lived in the city her whole life, so she knew exactly where to take me as a first-timer to San Antonio. Okay, so here's my itinerary so far. I want to hear your thoughts. Okay. I'm gonna go to Natural Bridge Caverns, yes. Japanese Tea Garden, La Valita, yes. Market Square. Is there anywhere else I should go while I'm here?
I think we should go to the historic King William District.
Oh, okay, let's go. The King William Historic District ended up being one of my favorite stops because I love a good mansion, and this neighborhood has lots and lots and lots of them. While I'm not the biggest foodie, I feel like we also passed just as many restaurants before making a quick pit stop at Rosario's for a little taste of San Antonio. Very good. I have to say, guys, the tour was awesome, but the conversations we had along the way are what made it really unforgettable. Liz and Marina quickly became my friends, and I couldn't have dreamed for a better welcome to San Antonio. We've got to keep the quirky party going at this point, so that's why I'm at the Riverwalk for my next stop. And before you say, I know the Riverwalk and it's not that quirky, there are a few little hidden surprises. You just have to know where to go. The first of these surprises is called the Grotto. It's a 3-story cave-like creation by artist Carlos Cortez that appears completely out of the blue and puts you into a fantasy world with fake fossils, stalactites, and other interesting oddities. That is only mildly terrifying. The grotto isn't that big, but there is a lot of detail to appreciate, and apparently bats appreciate it too. Also, if you can't find the grotto at first, look out for this tree mushroom bench thing, and that'll lead you right down to where the grotto is. So honestly, I'd say we're off to a good start. I love a little dose of weird, so let's see what else the Riverwalk has. Okay, weird stuff aside, the Riverwalk actually surprised me with how pretty it is, especially considering I went in the dead of winter. I mean, it can't compare to summer when it looks like this, but still. It definitely helps that there are places like Marriage Island, where every other San Antonian seems to get engaged or married. Salinas Bridge, again, where every other San Antonian seems to get engaged or married, and Lovelock Bridge, where every other person on Earth locks in their love. Oh, and the Red Tunnel, which is plastered in the color of love. I mean, could they rub it in on us single people more obviously? Come on! I may or may not be bitter about it, but anyway, back on topic. Where were we? Wait, seriously, where are we? If there is any place in San Antonio that is worth a detour, it's historic Market Square. Hey girl, hey. This place is the largest Mexican market in the US, and it absolutely looks the part. But the reason I really came is because I read one description online that mentioned the phrase exotic curios, so naturally I needed to see what exactly these exotic curios are. I was not disappointed. I think I found the source of my next nightmare. Yeah, I could go on and on. Oh, and P.S., if you want a more typical shopping experience, I recommend checking out La Valita, which is about a mile from Market Square and has some cute stores selling all kinds of local art. Okay, now that my curiosity for those curios has been satisfied, I want to show you guys one more spot on the Riverwalk before we float along to other things. Okay, so I may or may not have driven to the next spot along the Riverwalk, but that's because the Riverwalk is 15 miles long. It's huge. And this next park that I'm at makes you feel like you're worlds away from the center of San Antonio. This is Brackenridge Park. So it's a 343-acre park just outside of the city of San Antonio, but it is part of the Riverwalk, which is so freaking cool. and wild that you can go from seeing oddities and really unusual little nooks and crannies to a sea of Spanish moss. It's unbelievable. I could have honestly wandered around here for hours, but we're about to see the grand finale of day 1, so let's give it a shot. Am I in another country? Well, it turns out the fog could not have come at a more perfect time because it made the Japanese tea garden look extra stunning. I mean, come on. The water, the fish, the ducks, the bridges. I definitely did not feel like I was in Texas. Look guys, I spy with my little eye. The Japanese tea garden is small, just so you know. The walking trail is a little more than a quarter-mile long, but it is packed with peaceful spots every few feet, I'd say. And fun fact, the garden was actually built in an old limestone quarry, which gives it a more immersive feel because you're surrounded by huge stone walls in pretty much every direction. Yep, this was the moment of zen that I definitely needed to end day 1 because day 2 is going to be rockin', pun intended. So to recap day 1, we've ridden around town in a sidecar, explored all the sights of the Riverwalk, and soaked in all the scenery of the Japanese tea garden. By the way, if you think that scenery is pretty, oof, you're in for a treat for day 2. Caves in Texas? Caves in Texas, yes. This is Natural Bridge Caverns. It's the largest cavern system in the entire state, and you can go down there to start exploring a whole world underground. So let's go. Into the caves we go. Mesmerizing, otherworldly, unbelievable. These are just some of the words I would use to describe Natural Bridge Caverns now, but in the moment, I really didn't have any words to express what I was seeing because it was hard to wrap my mind around the fact that this place exists at all. First off, there are 5 tour options. I did the Discovery Tour and the Hidden Wonders Tour, each of which are between an hour and an hour and a half long, but both are worth it because they give you access to very different sections of the cavern system. If I had to pick a favorite, it would be the Discovery Tour because the formations, at least to me, were the most eye-popping, especially in the Castle of the White Giants. And the explorers who name the formations get bonus points for coming up with names like Bomb Burst, the Watchtower, the King's Throne, and Mount of the Landlord. Appropriately epic, for sure. I also have to give some love to the Hall of the Mountain King. It's the largest room in Natural Bridge Caverns and it is beautiful, but it comes with a crappy gift. Literally. You'll see several thousand-year-old bat poop. Yay! I just finished at the caverns, which were freaking awesome, but I'm even more excited now because of this. This is a zip coaster that I've seen all over social media. I am doing that immediately. So upon closer review, it's not entirely a zip coaster. It's more of a zip course because there are obstacles in between all the tracks. However, it was still pretty fun. They wouldn't let me bring my camera up to show you guys what the view looks like from above, but the top portion is 60 feet off the ground, so it'll test your fear of heights. Also, there is the largest sluice in Texas here, apparently. I can confirm it is very large. Well, I guess everything's bigger in Texas. Turns out it's true what they say, but not everything in Texas is in your face, or at least not everything in San Antonio. Before I show you guys what I mean, I've got to catch my breath. Okay, that place was epic, but it was also a lot. So I want to show you guys a peaceful place that helps offset a little bit of the chaos, but still keeps you out in nature, and it is Hardberger Park. This park is special for a couple reasons. You will find 2 features that are the first of their kind in the region, a skywalk, which I had a lot of fun on, and a land bridge. The land bridge is supposedly the first of its kind in the world in that it allows for both animals and people to pass safely over a highway that divides the northern and southern sections of the park. Okay, this just in. I have immediate proof that the wildlife bridge does work. Look at this. There's 1, 2, 3. I don't know if you can see back there. There's like 4, 5, 6, 7 deer. And they're all right in the vicinity of the bridge crossing. That's cool. Whether you care about the land bridge or not, Hardberger Park is a nice little break, which is much needed considering where we are heading next. When I first found this attraction called Hopscotch, my immediate thought was, no, this is totally a tourist trap, not going. But after reading reviews, it quickly became clear that it's actually worth a visit. I am so happy I did. There are 14 rotating art installations scattered across 2 floors, but the first thing I saw was the ball pit, and I will never, ever, ever pass up that kind of opportunity. If you saw my Charleston itinerary video, you know I love a good secret, and Hopscotch actually has a room where you can listen to random people's secrets. What are you doing? And leave your own. Okay, now that I'm scarred for life, I needed to drown it all out with some psychedelic scenery, and I found the one. It's called Unknown Atmospheres, and it is about as mind-blowing as it gets, people. Which is saying something because there's also Rainbow Cave that is made up of 40,000 salvaged plastic bags, plus the bouncy/trippy quantum trampoline and infinity boxes. Wow. If this isn't the perfect visual for my mental state right now, I am so tired, so I will see you guys tomorrow. Phew. So, day 2 was an epic one, starting with incredible underground wonders at Natural Bridge Caverns and a zip coaster-ish experience, followed by a peaceful and slightly wild park escape, and then right back into the world of crazy at Hopscotch. This is San Antonio though, so we can't miss seeing some history, right? Day 3, let's go. So, not gonna lie, history does not exactly excite me most of the time, but I'm in San Antonio, so gotta see a UNESCO World Heritage Site because it's the only one in Texas, and it's considered one of the most beautiful landmarks in the entire state. But it's not the Alamo. Before you guys come for me in the comments, I did originally plan to visit the Alamo when I first started researching for this trip, but after reading some reviews about San Antonio Mission's National Historical Park, the consensus seemed to be that this place is more worth the time. Yeah, this is very pretty. My first stop was Mission San Jose, which is considered the queen of the missions because it is the largest in the park. The church and convento are definitely the most beautiful part of the complex, and I could not stop staring at the incredible arches that defined Spanish colonial Baroque architecture, which was the style of choice for these missions. You can see the inside of the church too, which was refurbished in 2011, so you can really get a sense of what it would have been like to be here in the 1700s. Just do me a favor and take a minute to appreciate the altar. I'm not religious, but I can appreciate good craftsmanship when I see it, and you should too. Mission San Jose, check, plus. But did you know that Mission San Jose is actually one of 4 missions at San Antonio Mission's National Historical Park? Mission Concepcion. That's the next stop I want to show you guys because it is one of the oldest original stone churches left in America. Mission Concepcion was built in the 1740s and is the least restored of the 4 missions because it was built on bedrock, which is important because it prevented the deterioration of many things, including the original frescoes. The couple that I spotted included this one called Eye of God in the convento, another one that features a pot with some flowers and a cross, and on the outside of the church you can even see the classic geometric pattern used for frescoes. Keep in mind, these are all over 250 years old, and the fact that you can still see any of them is amazing to me. Yeah, I still think the Queen wins, but hey, this is beautiful, and I would say solid second place. Worth a visit for sure. So at this point in the day, I was ready to skip ahead in my schedule and go back to the hotel, but something told me I shouldn't miss this collection of ruins. And that something was maybe a spirit of some kind? Backing away slowly. Backing away slowly. I know it looks like a boring pile of crumbling bricks, but it may actually be the coolest, most interesting pile of bricks ever. Let me explain. This used to be the Hot Wells Hotel, but before that, it was Shacklett's Natural Hot Sulfur Wells, which came to be from the discovery of the Edwards Aquifer that was known for its hot and so-called healing waters. A year into all of this, a fire destroyed the bathhouse, and Shacklett could not financially recover from this. Fast forward to 1901, and a guy named Otto Kaler comes in and essentially has the same vision as Shacklett, but on steroids. He and his fellow investors build a new bathhouse with 3 swimming pools, private rooms with porcelain tubs, and a huge 80-room hotel. As you can imagine, this attracted a very fancy crowd, like actors and world leaders. Most notably of those, President Theodore Roosevelt. All these people would get up to ridiculous things, like betting on ostrich races, which happened nearby. Then comes another fire 2 years later that destroyed the original hotel, but luckily firefighters saved the bathhouse. Thank goodness, because the lobby of that bathhouse eventually became a nightclub within a motel complex in the 1940s. Then, to add insult to injury, what happens? You guessed it, another fire. And then there was yet another fire in 1997, set by an arsonist, because why not at this point? So yeah. Now do you understand why I said this place might be cursed? But hey, what a story. That is some history I'm willing to learn. To tie it all together, there is honestly no better way to end this itinerary than at the Saga. It's a 24-minute light show that's projected onto another San Antonio historical landmark, the San Fernando Cathedral, and tells the story of the city's past, present, and future in eye-catching fashion, of course. It is the most fitting farewell to San Antonio, because if there's anything we know about San Antonio now, it's that they know how to put on one hell of a light show. So I'm at a hotel in the next place I'm filming, and the element of surprise has come up many times already, which makes me think back to San Antonio, because for a city that's so defined by its history, there were incredible, colorful, quirky, unexpected discoveries, and that's what this show is all about. So buckle up, because we are only just beginning and the ride is going to be a lot of fun. So I hope you'll subscribe and stay tuned, because just wait until you see what's coming next.